Hi, I'm Allison Ladon Daroui. Welcome to the Ladon Method. This is our strong class. So I just want you to move at your own pace. This involves a bit more strength and endurance. So take breaks whenever you need to, all right? Why don't we get started in a more restful posture just so that you know it's a place you can always return to. Let's come into a child's pose. Big toes together, knees out wide. Reach your fingertips towards the top of the mat. Rest your third eye down. As your hips reach back, your fingertips reach forward, feeling that lengthening of the spine. Coming into your breath, breathing in and out through the nose, finding that nice rhythm of the breath. Nice smooth inhales and exhales through the nose, feeling that full capacity of the lungs. You can always exhale through the mouth if you need to release a little bit of heat from the body. This is always a place you can return to. But let's make our way into our tabletop. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, finding a nice neutral spine. From here, let's extend the right leg back, reaching your left fingertips forward, holding it, squaring off the hips to the mat. Feel your belly zip up, seeing if you can maybe lift your leg a little bit higher. And once you're ready, lower the palm and the knee down. From here, extend your left leg back. Reach your right fingertips forward. See where you want to take it on this side. Zipping up that core. Good. From here, lower the palm and the knee down. Curl your toes under, and let's lift the hips up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. Take a moment to check in here. You can pedal out the feet, bending one knee, then the other, allowing the opposite heel to melt a little bit closer to the mat. You can pause on each side for multiple breaths if you want to come a bit deeper into your calves and hamstrings. But wherever you are, I want to see your spine is nice and long. Try not to hunch here. Feel your chest move towards your thighs. You can always bring a nice bend in the knees if your hamstrings are pretty tight. It often allows you to lengthen your spine here. Then once you're ready, at the bottom of an exhale, you look to the top of the mat, stepping it forward. Bringing your feet hip distance and parallel. Let's sit the hips down low, reaching the fingertips high. From here, we'll sit down a little bit lower as we begin to open up the chest towards the left side. Actively reach your fingertips in opposite direction, but keep your left arm in line with the shoulder. That back arm stays in line with the shoulder, leading with your chest. Keep your knees squared off to the front of the mat. Your hips are squared off, and try not to allow your knees to move past your toes. Inhale, let's take it back to center. Exhale to the other side. Make sure you still have that same alignment. Hips are parallel to the front of the mat. Lead with your chest. Inhale, take it to center. Exhale, twist it to the left. Moving at your own pace, you might lift a little bit higher as you come to center, sitting a bit lower as you turn the chest. Just make sure the knees are facing forward. Moving through at your own pace for another 3, 2, 1. Good. Take it back to center. Find your airplane arms, palms face down. Rotate your chest. Rotate your shoulders back and down, so you're really broadening across the chest, while at the same time feel a rotation of pelvis towards navel instead of sticking the butt out. Beginning to feel your glutes here. On an inhale, let's shoot it all the way up to standing, palms together to touch. Lead with your chest. Feel that rotation of pelvis towards navel to protect the low back. Opening your heart, taking a gentle back bend. From here, on an exhale, let's fold it forward, allowing the hands to melt through heart center. On an inhale, lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. From here, let's plant the palms. Step your right foot back, so you're in a low lunge here. You can play around the distance between the feet. You're planting your right sole of the foot, so the right heel is lifted. You can use tented fingertips. You can plant the palms. You might use a nearby block, so you can use some books here if you need a little bit more surface, or you can always stay more lifted. Just see what works for you. In your low lunge, reach your chest forward. From here, keep your hips nice and squared off as you work towards straightening that front leg, feeling your belly move towards the thigh. And your feet should be hip distance, so picture 2 train tracks moving along the length of your mat. And then from here, transitioning, inhale as you find that nice bend in your front knee. Try not to allow the knee to go past the ankle. Exhale as you straighten both legs. You can always keep a nice bend in that front knee. You don't have to force it. Take a couple more rounds here. And on your own time, find that nice bend in your front knee. Plant your right palm, reach your left fingertips high, coming into a twist. Feel the back of your right thigh reach up towards the ceiling, keeping your low body nice and strong. Then we'll lower the hand down, step it back to a high plank, top of a push-up, lower onto your knees, finding your modified plank. And then from here, make sure you're feeling that rotation of pelvis towards the navel. So watch out for the hips dropping down or the butt sticking out. Feel that rotation. Feel that core engagement. Allow your chest to dip a little bit between the shoulders. On an exhale, lower halfway down. On an inhale, straighten those arms. Exhale, lower it halfway down. Inhale, straighten those arms. So as you're lowering it down, you're trying to work towards finding a 90-degree bend at your elbows. Elbows are reaching towards the back of the room rather than out to the sides. And you're leading with your chest. Pay attention to what your head is doing. You don't want the head to come forward. Slide the back of your head into your imaginary headrest behind you. Good. And then once you're ready, you can lower it all the way down onto the mat. From here, let's come into a Sphinx pose. So bring your forearms onto the mat. Forearms are parallel like train tracks. Press down the tops of your feet, the nail side of the foot. See if you can get that pinky toe down. Feet are hip distance. Really engage your legs, especially your quads, those muscles above the knees. Press your elbows into the mat and feel as though you're sliding the chest forward. It's feeling as though your elbows are sliding towards the back of the mat as you create more space between your collarbones. Watch out for the shoulders shrugging towards the ears. Try to keep the neck nice and long. Good. Once you're ready, lower it down. Let's lift it into a tabletop, back into a down dog. And at the bottom of an exhale, you can step or jump to the top of the mat, bringing the feet hip distance and parallel. Let's sit the hips down low, reaching the fingertips high. Take a nice big inhale at center. On an exhale, let's open up the chest towards the right. Keep your knees stacked right above the ankles as you twist. Inhale, take it to center. Exhale, opening it up to the left. Good. Moving at your own pace. You can lift a little bit higher at center. Exhaling, sitting down a little bit lower. See what works for you. Moving through for another 3, 2, 1. Take it back to center. On an exhale, find your airplane arms, reaching the fingertips towards the back. Roll those shoulders back, broadening across your chest. Inhale, let's shoot it up to standing. Feeling the heart reach high. Palms together to touch overhead, extending the arms long. On your next exhale, let's fold it forward. Let everything go. Let your head and neck hang heavy. On an inhale, let's lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. From here, we'll plant the hands, and on this side, we'll step the left foot back. So you're planting the left sole of the foot here. You can play around the distance between the feet. Try to get your right knee stacked right above the ankle here. Feel the back of your left thigh reach up towards the ceiling. You can always find props if you need a little bit more height or maybe you're staying more lifted. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale. Find that nice straight leg, keep your hips squared off, and you're working towards straight. Again, it's always okay if you find a nice bend if that's a little bit too much for you. You might take it a little bit deeper, bringing the belly to the thigh. Only if the belly touches the thigh, maybe your face comes towards the shin. And then we'll transition here. Inhaling as you reach the chest forward. Exhaling as you fold it forward. Moving at your own pace, and feel free to stay on each side of the motion for as many breaths as you like. See what your body needs at this point. And eventually we'll return to our low lunge, right knee right above the ankle. Plant your left palm, reach your right fingertips high. Make sure you don't collapse on that left side. Feel that left back of the thigh reach up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, you'll lengthen the spine. As you exhale, maybe you'll twist a little bit more on your own time. You can plant that right hand onto the mat. Let's step it back into our high plank. From here, lower onto the knees. Make sure your core is nice and engaged, feeling that rotation of pelvis towards navel. Keep your toes curled under, and bring your shoulders right above the wrist here. Keep the head in that imaginary headrest. And we're going to lift the knees about an inch off the mat, then lower them down. Lift those knees an inch, lower them down. Really coming into our core here. It's a very small movement, but you'll definitely begin to feel it. Moving through at your own pace for another 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower onto the knees. Keep that core nice and engaged. On an exhale, we'll lower halfway down, bending at the elbows. Inhale, straighten those arms. Exhale, lower it halfway down. Inhale, straighten those arms. One more time. And from here, bring the big toes together to touch, knees out wide, coming into your child's pose for a moment. Feel your fingertips reach towards the top of the mat. As your hips reach towards your heels, you can begin to tent your fingertips, allowing your palms and elbows to lift off the mat, stretching out the arms a bit, stretching out the shoulders, the spine. Breathing into it, taking complete rounds of breath, complete inhales, complete exhales, the full depth of breath. Good. Once you're ready, we're going to take it into a tabletop. From here, I want you to make sure your shoulders are stacked right above wrists, your hips are stacked right above knees. You want to feel nice and balanced. Let's extend the right leg back, reach your left fingertips forward. Zip up your belly, try not to allow it to drop. You want to keep the core strong. Take a nice big inhale, fully extending. On an exhale, bring your elbow towards your knee, curving your spine like a scared cat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in. Good. Moving through at your own pace. Moving through for another 3, 2, and 1. Extend long. You can stay here. You can take it back to your tabletop, or maybe you're reaching around with your left hand for your right ankle, bending in that right knee. Flex your right foot. Feel your belly button zip up towards the spine, so you're engaging the core as you begin to press your ankle into your hand, taking a slight back bend while at the same time twisting, opening the chest towards the left side. Beautiful. Once you're ready, you can release, extend long, lowering the palm and the knee down. Let's take a little bit of organic movement before we make our way onto the other side. You can move through cat and cow here. Maybe you're taking some C curves of the spine. Maybe you're taking some nice big circles of the hips. Just see what your body needs here. Let out cleansing breaths if you need to. Let out moans and groans, any sounds you need to. All right, once you're ready, you're gonna come into that normal breath in and out through the nose. You're going to come on to the other side. So stack those joints so you're feeling nice and stable, so your chest and hips are squared off to the mat. Extend your left leg back. Reach your right fingertips forward. Fully extend, reaching in opposite directions. Nice big inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug it in. Moving through at your own pace. For another 3, another 2, and 1. Extend long. From here, bend in your left knee. Well, if you want to take it further, remember you can always just stay extended or take it back into your tabletop. But if you want to take this next one, grab on to your left ankle with your right hand, belly button towards spine to help engage the core. Rotating your chest towards the right as your left ankle kicks in to your right hand. Feeling that energetic pull in opposite directions. Once you're ready, you can release, lowering the palm and the knee down. Beautiful. From here, let's curl the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, coming into our downward facing dog. On an inhale, let's reach the left leg high. On an exhale, step it through to a low lunge. Stepping your left foot to the inside of your left thumb. You can always assist it forward, grabbing onto the ankle or calf with your hand. And then from here, get the hips nice and squared off. Your back heel is lifted off the mat. We'll rise it up to a crescent lunge. So take a moment to set yourself up here, and you want your feet moving along those train tracks on the mat so the feet are actually hip distance. And playing around with the distance between the feet in terms of the length of the mat to make sure you're nice and stable. Bring one hand to your low belly, one hand to your low back. Bend in your back knee for a moment. Instead of sticking the butt out, we want to find that neutral spine, that rotation of pelvis towards navel. Maintain it. Straighten your back leg. Then let's reach the fingertips high. From your high lunge, we're going to bend in both knees, then straighten both legs without locking the joints, opening your chest towards the left. Taking it back to center, bending in both knees, straightening both legs, open it up to the left. And you're actively reaching your fingertips in opposite directions. Your hips are staying squared off to the front of the mat. Moving through at your own pace. Making sure you're breathing here. And you don't have to twist as much if it becomes challenging to balance as you twist. Also, you can focus on one non-moving point on the floor for greater stability, finding your drishti. Good. Taking one more. Beautiful. Let's take it back to center. From here, find that nice bend in your front knee. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen the spine. On an exhale, we'll hook the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, coming in our revolved crescent lunge. Feeling the back of your right thigh reach up towards the ceiling. Breathing into it, and we're going to play with our balance a little bit here. But first, lengthen, inhaling, exhaling, twisting a little bit more. Now, focus on your left foot. We'll step our right foot forward to meet the left, coming into our prayer twists. Sitting the hips back and down, lengthening the spine as you inhale, maybe twisting a little bit more as you exhale. Good. On an exhale, let's fold it forward, letting it all go. Relaxing your head and neck. You can rock the head right to left, up and down. Good. Find a gentle bend in the knees. Slowly roll it all the way up to standing, reaching the arms high overhead. On an exhale, let's fold it forward. On an inhale, lift it up halfway. Plant the palms, step it back to your high plank, top of a push-up. From here, holding it, getting your body flat as a board. You can stay here, or you might challenge your core a little bit more. Bending in both knees, allowing the knees to hover above the mat about an inch, then straighten the legs. Moving through at your own pace. Good. For another 3, 2, and 1. Take it right back into your down dog. On an inhale, let's reach the right leg high. On an exhale, step through to a low lunge. And we'll begin to rise it up to our crescent lunge here. Take a moment to set yourself up. Finding a bend in your back knee. Feel a rotation of pelvis towards navel. So you want to get the spine nice and neutral rather than sticking the butt out. Maintain that nice neutral spine, then straighten your back leg. Reach your fingertips high. From here, we'll bend in both knees, straightening both legs, opening the chest towards the right. Moving through at your own pace. Finding your stability here, particularly as you twist. You'll notice that you'll find greater stability if you really ground down where your right big toe meets the sole of the foot, especially as you twist. Okay, let's take one more round. Beautiful. Let's take it back to center. Find that nice bend in your front knee. Bring your hands to heart center. Hinge forward at the hips. Let's hook the left elbow to the outside of that right thigh, coming into our revolved crescent lunge. You want to stay pretty lifted here, firmly pressing the palms into one another. The back of your left thigh reaches up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, you'll lengthen. As you exhale, you might twist a little bit more. Good. And from here, we're going to play with our balance. So take a peek at your right foot. We're going to step the back foot forward, coming in to our prayer twist, trusting yourself to sit back into that imaginary chair. You can always come out of your twist if it's challenging to make that transition and then come back into it. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, twisting. On and exhale, let's fold it forward, bringing a gentle bend into the knees, slowly rolling it all the way up to standing. Bring the arms high overhead. Nice big inhale. On and exhale, let's fold it forward. Planting the palms, stepping it back to your high plank, top of a push-up. From here, lowering onto the knees, leading with the chest. We're going to lower it down halfway. Inhale, straighten those arms. Exhale, let's lower it halfway. Inhale, straighten those arms. Let's take one more round. And then lower it all the way down. And we're going to come into our Sphinx pose. Coming onto your forearms, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. Engage the legs. Feel the quads. Press your elbows into the mat. Feel as though they're sliding towards the back, opening your heart even more. Good. Lowering it all the way down, relaxing your third eye, the center of the forehead onto the back of one hand, placing your hands on top of one another and finding a little surface for your third eye. You can begin to massage it. Letting out any cleansing breaths you need to. And once you're ready, place the hands onto the mat, lift it up to a tabletop, and we're going to come into a comfortable seated position. Great job, everyone. I know our strong class is not easy. And then you're going to come onto your back. Take your time to get there. Just beginning to slow things down a bit. And from here, walk your heels in towards your hips. You can grab onto the sides of the mat. We'll begin to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into your bridge pose. Make sure your knees are stacked right above the ankles. Maybe you're finding that interlace of the fingers beneath the sacrum. Your hips might reach up a little bit higher as the shoulder blades come a little bit closer together. Once you're ready, release the grip. Release the shoulder blades and slowly lower down from upper, middle to lower back, giving yourself a nice massage as you lower down. And from here, you can bring the bottoms of the feet together to touch, allowing the knees to open wide, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. If this is a bit too much, you can bring the heels further away from your pelvis so you're not coming as deep. You can always keep the knees lifted a little bit higher, or you can just keep the feet planted on the mat. Just see what works for you, but let's bring one hand to our heart, one hand to our belly. Just allow yourself to be here. Just feeling that sense of gratitude for this time that you set aside for yourself. You really do deserve it. Take this time to find stillness. Coming a little bit closer to entirely clearing the mind. Stay here for as long as you like. Just want to thank you for moving with me and for holding me accountable to you. I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm sending lots of love and positive energy your way. Goodbye.